ready for a YP event. Always smoking.
I literally just put on a shirt for you guys, like a reasonable human being shirt,
Well,
not one
thanks.
that has whips in it.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, so let's get started. So thanks for joining us. This is going to get recorded, and we're going to disperse this through all the appropriate channels so that everybody can hear. I know Friday at noon on a beautiful day like this is a tough one. So number one, the way that we're going to always structure this as normal, we're always going to talk about what's coming up. This is kind of our new structure, the state of the companies. The intention is to continue to create interaction between each market center because we are one big happy family. So right off the rip, Tiffany, why don't you give us an update on what's coming up, what's going on?
Perfect. Okay, so we have a few things coming up. So first and foremost, we have the KWYP bonfire tonight at Whitney's house at 1430 Coles Drive in Johns Island. So if you're under 40 or you want to know more and over 40, please come out. There's going to be food. Who are we having barbecue wise?
Rodney Scott's Barbecue,
Rodney.
and we have the poor boys pouring us drinks tonight as well. Just be sure and RSVP because it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so let us know if you'd like to attend. Also, a KWYP announcement on November 11th. We also have the business planning clinic that they will be hosting. Joseph will be doing it. It's from 3 to 4:30 at the workshop. So if you're interested in joining that or seeing what KWYP is all about, what additional resources they have, we'd love to introduce you to the people that make that happen. Other than that too, we have the Thanksgiving stuff coming up for both market centers. And so I'm first going to tackle West Ashley. You're going to hear more information about this at the team meeting next week. However, your ALC is doing a draft to draft agents into their office to create teams for a food drive. And so we're going to be doing weigh-ins for the next couple weeks on who can collect the most amount of food by weight. And then we're going to distribute them into blessing boxes on the 19th of November. So we'll be doing a happy hour outside in the parking lot, and then we'll be doing distributions from there after the final weigh-in. So be looking for more information about that. You'll be hearing what team you're on next week. For Mount Pleasant, we are going to be doing a luncheon, a Thanksgiving boxed luncheon. So it's going to be individualized. It's not going to be sharing food. Outside in our parking lot on November 20th at 11:30 to 12 o'clock. We'll get the specific range of time where that will be there. And so it'll just be a time for us to come to the market center and gather, talk with each other, and stay socially distant with food and all of the stuff. But we'll be able to see each other for the first time in a really long time. So please come out for that. And then other than that, one important partnership we wanted to, Karen, did you want to talk about that real quick?
Actually, I just want to make sure everybody knows if you're planning on attending the 20th, since we are doing box lunches, we're going to need an RSVP by the 13th, which is 2 weeks from today. So
Okay.
if we can get like an Eventbrite or something, I just want to make sure we have enough food. I also don't want to waste a bunch of food. So, yeah.
Love that. Okay, cool. And we'll get more information out about that and how to RSVP in the next coming days. So perfect. And then one more thing we wanted to just let you all know about it. If you have not heard, Keller Williams has partnered with Stride Health Insurance. And so it is a way for Keller Williams agents, and I believe and I don't know if it's your clients, but agents and staff and people on the team to be able to partner with someone that's affiliated with KW and get your health insurance for the upcoming year. So open enrollment starts on November 1st, which is Sunday, and it takes 10 minutes to take the survey, at least give them an opportunity to beat the price that you've maybe been paying before. And so I'm actually going to share the link in the chat, and we'll be posting more about it on the Facebook page. But it's a new partnership that KW has made, and we'd love for you guys to check them out and let them be a part of that resource that you bring to yourself and to your family. So check them out. Stride Health, new partnership with KW. We're really, really excited about that. I think Chip said he did himself a quote and he's going to save some money with that too. So that's awesome and that's exciting. And that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Just wanted to give a shout out. Susie Kopp at our Isle of Palms office is doing a collection of any extra Easter candy you have. We have a box here in the Market Center in Mount Pleasant, and she has a box also over at Olive Palms. And that candy gets distributed to the troops and packaged and sent away. I don't remember 100% sure, but I think she said she collected 100 pounds last year. So let's beat that for her this year. So reach out to Susie if you have any questions, and I'm sure she'll be happy to answer them. And another thing I wanted to let you guys know about is in Bold yesterday, when they closed out the Bold session, they asked each of us to commit to doing random acts of kindness throughout our communities. And so I want to challenge each and every Keller Williams Charleston person to consider doing a random act or commit to doing a random act of kindness for a stranger over the next 7 days. It can be as simple as greeting someone, opening a door. I know some people it had shared stories about paying for the person's coffee in the line behind them, or just do something nice. And let's talk about it later and see how it makes you feel, because we always get more by giving than we do by receiving. So just commit to that. And that was just my Bold moment for you. Vince?
I love it. And I'll add to that, in that we're moving into the holiday season, right? There's no better time to give, not to mention that 2020 has been a pretty fascinating year and a really challenging year for many, right? Recently I was in a Starbucks line, and Karen kind of touched on it, but I was in a Starbucks line, and the guy in front of me bought my cup of coffee, which then prompted me naturally to buy the other person's cup of coffee behind me. And what was funny, she said, I was the 5th person in a row that it's done it. It's such a small little thing, but it brings joy. It brings happiness to people. Maybe they really needed a cup of coffee and they couldn't afford that one, right? And they've been struggling because 2020 has been fascinating. But think about it. People can live on a compliment for weeks. So that's a really big culture piece here at KW. So we would encourage everybody to think about it and incorporate it into your daily life. So one of the things we also wanted to touch on was there's been some, and this kind of connects also what Karen's going to talk on with the kind of the new models that we've really been talking about a lot to add more support to agents. But there was a restructuring at KW recently at Keller Williams Realty International. And there's been a lot of articles about it. There's been a lot of Inman articles written. And we discussed it at the team meetings a few times, but we also wanted to take this opportunity to mention it here as well. So really what's happened with Keller Williams, Gary Keller, moving into the chairman role at KWX is just a consolidation of sorts. Inman wrote it, their first article that came out, I think they wrote it as Gary Keller stepping down from CEO. Right? This is a stepping up of sorts. This isn't Gary Keller stepping down, Gary Keller going anywhere. This is a Gary Keller getting into his sweet spot again, because I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when he took over the CEO role, it was never intended to be a permanent role for him. It was a take over the role, fix some things, realign some things with the intention, and putting people in the right seats with the intention of moving then into back into his visionary role. Gary Keller is a visionary. Putting him in a seat that allows him to not worry about the day-to-day at Keller Williams, but worry about where is the real estate industry going? How can I best position our agents to continue to stay as the fiduciary? That's his role. That's where he needs to be. And that's what this reshuffle has done. It's also simply a business efficiency move and just a smart business play. Think about years past, I guess, Google and creating the holding company Alphabet, right? All it is a business efficiency play. Some would call it kind of an enterprise value play, right? And this is allowing, with all the companies that Keller Williams is creating, be it Keller Mortgage, Keller Offers, Keller PM, Keller Covered. If I missed any, let me know. But so that they can all be consolidated under one umbrella, create efficiency, and really push that just cause that Gary Keller and Keller Williams is pushing for forward, which is keep the agent as the fiduciary in the transaction, and always bring massive value to the agent so that the agent can bring massive value to the consumer. So that's what's going on. He also brought, I was on a call with Jason Abrams and Josh Team being the president of the company. And essentially he's earned the daily responsibilities of the CEO role. So essentially they're blending that CEO role into the president role, with Josh Team taking that role and keeping that role, and Gary Keller simply kind of taking a chairman role and staying in that visionary space. The last thing I'll say is Carl Liebert, who's coming in as the CEO of KWX and working closely with Gary Keller and Josh Team, has one heck of a track record of success in scaling and creating efficiency. So that was the reason for bringing him in, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more about him. There's been some awesome things said. He did a couple of interviews that I thought were pretty eye-opening, so go and check them out. Other than that, one of the cool things about this is it is in direct correlation to kind of the direction that Keller Williams is going from the standpoint of how do we bring more value to agents, right? And Karen's going to talk about how agents kind of fall in three different categories: the dependent agent, the interdependent agent, and the independent agent. This shuffle and this move, right, allows for more efficiencies so that we can better cater to all of those agents as compared to just the interdependent agent. So there's going to be a lot more conversation around this, but we wanted to kind of start that conversation and put it out here. Karen, do you want to add anything?
Oh, I definitely do. So think of it as KW of the future. When Gary restructured the company the first time after his top agents walked out and went across the street to Remax to be at an independent company, what did he do? He asked the people who stayed, how can we create a company that no one would ever want to leave? Well, we all know there's been a lot of changes in the real estate industry, and we have a lot of competition out there. And we want to become the company that an agent can start their career with day one. They get their license and finish their career with to the day they retire on their profit share and their real estate investments. And to be honest with you, as a productivity coach for 2 years, I lived in the dependent world. I had 48 agents in my program. The only thing that I didn't necessarily do was provide them with a lot of leads. However, there was hand-holding, there was nurturing, there was support. We're going to add in some extra layers in the future, and we'll be talking about that as we go on. It does not affect your business really in a negative way or any way, shape, or form for that matter. If you want to stay an interdependent agent at Keller Williams, you absolutely can. If you have a team at Keller Williams, it's going to create massive opportunity for you because you won't necessarily have brand new agents coming to you and wanting to join your team. You might have somebody self-discover after being in that dependent model, they truly do need the support of a team. And so it'll give you more time to evaluate that person and figure out exactly where they might fit. And it's going to lead to more retention and less turnover. And to be honest, then you also have the independent model that will be going into expansion, even investor opportunities, things like that in the future. So really looking at it once again, I think Keller Williams is trying to create a program, or Gary Keller is creating a program. We've been talking about it to where what do we have to do that an agent could come to Keller Williams and never want to leave this company? The benefit to each one of us is that it creates and maintains profit share. I get a lot of referrals from within the market center, and brand new agents are, a little conservative as far as, do I want to commit to doing all my own lead generation when there's other companies out there that'll give me leads? And that's a big hang up, right? And there's another hang up on the other side of that, where an agent that has a lot of experience wants to join us and wants to lock arms with us and be part of our culture and part of our business, but they don't want to give up their independence. So we now will have a platform for every single agent, wherever you are in your career. And if you have future plans of growing a team or becoming something, if your vision is bigger, we can fit your vision inside of our vision now. So we're not limited. And I think I covered everything. And Vince, if you have anything to add, we'll have more information coming throughout the rest of this year.
I love it. I don't know why I just got kicked off, by the way. My computer just shut off. It was awesome.
It did freeze for a minute, and I thought it was me. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. But so I heard most of what you said. But yeah, the idea, and I'm sure you touched on this, the idea is to continue to create an environment and a brokerage that caters to all, and that can help and support all agents in every stage of their career and every kind of evolution of their business, right? Wherever they are. So you'll continue to hear more about that as well. And if you think about what Garrett Keller is doing and how they've created all these ancillary companies to bring more value to agents, we're going to do that on a small level here in Charleston to, again, cater to agents, because that's the brokerage's job, right? The brokerage's job is to help make your life easier and more efficient. And the more support we can provide, the more business and the more houses and the more people you can help. So any questions or anything like that on those couple pieces before we move on to the amazing Winnie Rogers? Awesome. So one of the things we wanted to do today, and we're going to kind of do this moving forward, is continue to spotlight some of our Keller Williams agents, some of our family, so to speak, right? That have really been crushing it. Recently, Winnie was, for those of you that don't know, Winnie has, one, she's doubled her business year over year. Two, she added 7 individuals to her profit share downline this year. And one of the cool things about that is it got her recognized by Jason Abrams, the VP of industry, because of the way that she's adding people to her downline and the way that she's using command to cultivate relationships and build her downline, right? Her passive income. So I guess it was 2 weeks ago, she was kind of spotlighted on Tech Tuesday, which Jason Abrams, the VP of industry, does every Tuesday or every other Tuesday, and interviewed Winnie about what she's doing and how she did it. So we figured we'd take the moment to, one, say congratulations, Winnie, that's awesome. And two, hear from her about what she's done to build her downline, what she's also done to kind of build her business, how they've correlated, and then what she's created to create more efficiency and effectiveness in managing those relationships and cultivating those relationships. So Winnie, why don't you give a little background as to, one, what that experience with Jason was like, and why have you been so focused on profit share this year? What made you so focused on profit share this year?
Hey, thanks guys. And thanks for asking me to share today, Vince. Appreciate that. The actual experience with Jason was like so fast. It's like, you really have to condense everything as concise as possible, which isn't necessarily my strong suit. But the main reason, honestly, that I'm so passionate about profit share is because I come from a network marketing background. I've had a network marketing business already since 2013. So I've already reaped the rewards of passive income. I already have a business that runs itself. I get checks every month that I don't do anything for. So I already know the value of it. So I knew right out the gate that when I found out about profit share, that it was going to be one of my 3 things that I focused on. And I'm hoping that I can share my screen and show you guys. It looks like I can. Cool. But one of the things that I've done as the ALC growth chair for the West Ashley office is go to schools and recruiting. Having said that, like, I can't do that as much. So I wanted to make sure and, pivot during this time period. And I have still been able to work with those recruits that I met at the beginning of the year. And in addition, I've been able to bring on other people, that I just met otherwise. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you kind of how I do that. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys.
Who is that?
The
MC, like, remember Sissy's,
So wait a little bit.
Chris, no one got it muted.
Tiffany or Kristen, get them muted.
Buddy.
Great. So this is my opportunities pipeline, and hopefully all of you guys are, using this and where to find this. But one of the things I saw, and I mean, I didn't make this up out like completely. I just kind of saw people talking about it. and decided that I was just going to go ahead and create it. So I wasn't using my leases opportunity pipeline, and I'm sure a lot of you aren't either. So I decided to turn this into a recruiting pipeline. And one of the things we cannot change, which is fine, is cultivate, appointment, active, like all these words, pending and closed. But within each of these pipeline features, you can change everything within here. So you can see I have changed them to talent pool, scheduled school, in school, scheduled test, etc. So essentially we go from cultivate, which is preschool, so before school, to appointment, they're just graduated school. The active is actually where I manage my co-op brokers. So any agents that I've already worked with, once they are out of, I am actively working with them, then I put them into pending, which is in network agent. It just means for me that this is an agent that I know, that we're friends, I've communicated with. And then going into close and making sure that the people that I have recruited to our market center are being taken care of, because that's one of the things that I learned in my network marketing business is that if you don't take care of your people right out the gate, they're going to leave, right? So, and I think that one of the things, it's a disservice to you, the effort that you put in, and to that agent if you don't make sure that they are plugging in and that they are starting on the right foot, right? And so within each of these, you can edit stages. And so I have created checklists within each of these. And part of this is serving and checking in with my downline, as well as serving and checking in with potential recruits as well. So actually in the pending section, you'll see this is likely the most active area of what you would be doing. I do is once you're an in-network agent, make sure that you're connecting with them and getting them to events. I have always found that for me personally is the most effective way to get people in the door. They need to, whether it's an in-office event, whether it is a coffee appointment with just you guys, whether it's a coffee appointment, with Adrian or Vince or whatever, or whether it's mega camp. So just getting people to events. Do you want me to go in any more detail about this, Vince, or no?
This is absolutely awesome. And why don't you talk to us about, one, where are you cultivating these relationships? And then two, what have you learned in cultivating these relationships? What have you learned about the most effective ways of getting the business with people?
Absolutely. So as you can see here, these are people that I call the talent pool. These are people in your life that are already talented, and maybe they could benefit from a career in real estate, maybe not. So, this is just kind of keeping your eyes open in life. You live life, you connect with people, and that's where we start here. But for me, it has been in school. People in school, because I was going to the classes at the beginning of the year. But one of the cool things is that I have been able to keep up with them. I use Twilio in Command to text them. I've been able to send them flashcards, send them pieces of value, wish them luck on their test, check in with them after their test, and all of this kind of stuff. And then the other thing, and really to answer your question, Vince, about what I've learned from it, the main thing that I've learned from it is that any of these agents are just the potential for another friend, and a potential for the same way that I cultivate the relationships with these other agents is the same way that I cultivate relationships with my personal friends and with my potential clients. I go get coffee with them. We go get lunch together. Maybe we get a glass of wine. I do it the same way that I do anything else. And I just add them into my normal network. For instance, one of these agents next week, we're going to go to a wine tasting, and we've invited several other agents together. Just by being you and by being present the same way that you would, with your actual real estate leads, is how I have felt like stayed in my place of joy and my place of skill while maintaining this. And this just helps me hold myself accountable to following up with them. And a lot of what I do is I invite them to trainings. We have so many trainings, and that is such an easy way to just touch them, just like we do with our real estate clients. It's the same exact thing. You just want to just keep top of mind, and add value.
I love that. I absolutely love that. How have you So you talked about the real estate schools. I remember back in the day, you would always go to the real estate schools. That was one of the ways that you cultivated relationships. Talk more about how you pivoted and continued cultivating relationships.
Sure. So what I've done is any of my co-op agents, you'll see. So after transaction, here's my little checklist. I'm going to thank them for their transaction and invite them out to celebrate. Basically, we did a job well done. Now, am I going to go out to celebrate with every single agent? Maybe not. It depends on how it went. But for the most part, I usually love my co-broker, so it's really great. The other thing is that you can ask them to invite friends, so that you're leveraging your time, so that you aren't just getting in front of one person. Maybe you go for a quick coffee to celebrate, and then you set up a date for something else where, you're going to bring a friend, they're going to bring a friend. And then, you have a little party of realtors, and you can network together, add value to one another. And that's part of what I've been doing is that. The other thing that I did was I haven't focused on this a ton, but there are ways to basically advertise online for people, either on Indeed or on Facebook ads, to advertise for people to learn more about either real estate school or, say that you're building a team or something like that. So you can bring people in terms of a traditional recruiting, job application sort of.
Yep.
And that you can easily use this pipeline in the same manner. So, are they licensed? And then once they're licensed and they're in your network, then they would go into this in-network agent section where you connect with them on social media, meet up with them, in real life, bring them to Vince or Adrian or Karen, or, to bring them into our family and into our vibe and into our world.
I love it. Let me ask you this about, I know your business well, and this is kind of both from a profit share standpoint and from a business standpoint. And this is so systematic, right? And you're a very systematic person. How has adding this system and creating this system created more focus for you and then a better result for you, both in profit share, but also you have this system, a very similar system running for your business, right? How has that added a better result? This increased focus and this increased systems or systematic way of doing things added a better result to your business?
I think for me, in order to, the focus really started whenever I realized that this is the natural part of who I am. This is already what I like to do. Yes, I'm systematizing it, but really it's me being in person. It's me not forgetting anyone because I connect in person, as a lot of us do. Our number one, we're good in face to face, and this just helps me get people face to face. And so I guess for me, just realizing that it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
I love it. Well, you've crushed this space, and it's so cool to see you. I mean, I remember sitting at the ALC clinic last year, and you setting a goal of how many people you wanted in your downline, and you're just about there. And it's a really cool thing to watch you add 7 to your downline in the first year. Does anybody have any questions? Or Karen, you have any questions, or you want to add anything?
I love that she used the word talent multiple times. I don't want you guys to think that you're out there recruiting or that it's your job to even bring someone on at Keller Williams. That's why you have Vince and myself and Krista and Adrian. We just need the introduction. We want you to build the friendship, build the relationship. And when you do see talent, just know that talent and Keller Williams go hand in hand, right? The other thing, one question, Winnie, how do you leverage young professionals? Because that's a huge part of our value proposition.
That's a great question. So we actually, I invite non-KW people to our KWYP events, because why not? Who doesn't want to hang out and meet other people? And we know statistically that members of KWYP are doing higher volume than non-members of KWYP in terms of the age range. And so and we also know that by being a member, we can add additional education resources, and networking resources. So by doing that, we're just adding value to people. And then that can be my main goal for KWYP is actually for that to be the reason that people join KW, because they want to get into just the KWYP world. And by doing that, they got to get into KW in general. So that's a great question. Thanks.
So you would be absolutely open to anybody bringing a guest to a
Yes.
event?
Yeah. So we have a couple that are members only,
Right.
and we have a limit. So, maybe come like 2 times before we're like, hey, you need to be a member. So, but we're definitely all about spreading the wealth. And I think part of it is spreading all the knowledge around is just coming from that abundance mindset. And that's definitely what KW talks about. And of course, what KWYP talks about.
I love it. And I haven't participated in the events because I joined Keller Williams just after my 41st birthday. However, I have had family members take advantage of young professionals in the events that you guys have access to at Family Reunion Mega Camp, the special masterminds you do. It's no surprise to me that has increased business for you and the others. And I think that is key for someone that's younger getting into this business right out of college or wherever they are in their journey. I think having that support system is invaluable.
It's
Priceless.
none. So it's I know for many of us on here even today, it's actually been life-changing. So
Well, congratulations on your production and on your success with Profit Share. I know we're really blessed to be in business with you. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. And I do want to let everybody know before I bow out my time. So I'd like to do an open Profit Share Day for our next Profit Share Day. So West Ashley does Profit Share Day it's usually the 21st of every month because that's the day our check drops.
Mhm.
But because the 21st is on a Saturday, we're doing it on November 20th at 2 p.m.
Oh, it'll be right after our luncheon.
Yes. So anybody that attends that, I'm going to be going over my opportunity pipeline again that day. You must attend that in order to receive my opportunity checklist. I will send it to you. I have it typed up. It's beautiful. I share all the tags, all the instructions. So the full instructions on how to make this leasing opportunity pipeline into a recruiting pipeline, including my smart plans, can be available to you if you attend on the 20th at 2 p.m.
And that's
Are you
open to both
offering-
market centers, right?
Yes.
Are you offering that via Zoom?
That will be Zoom.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Awesome.
Everybody
It's
else.
awesome. Another fun piece to what Winnie is doing is she's also choosing who she wants to be in business with. Right? I think we get so caught up on this idea of passive income and profit share, we forget about culture, and we forget about the fact that profit share is just a gift. But when we think about it from the standpoint of who do we want to be in business with, a rising tide rises all ships. And one of the things that Winnie, I feel like, has done really well at is she's paid attention to who she's not necessarily targeted, but got into relationship with. And then if there was a fit at KW and there was an opportunity to help them get better, she would talk about KW. And then she would connect them with whatever resource at KW could help them, usually a training. And all of a sudden they end up in their downline and she's getting money every month on the 21st. So I think one of the things that I've learned from Winnie in all of this is we don't have to overcomplicate things. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. And we have to go back to the fact that this is just a relationship business. Mm-hmm. And if I'm going to bring value to somebody by getting in the relationship with them, and then maybe that turns into them finding value in KW, then I end up winning and they end up winning. And it's cool to watch you do that, Winnie. So way to go.
Thanks, guys.
This was awesome. So we've got nothing else for you. So we had a couple of those updates. We did record this. Make sure to show up to the Profit Share Day. There will be more Profit Share Days, but this one will be great because Winnie will be sharing all of her tips and tricks and resources. And if you need anything in the meantime, reach out to Karen, reach out to me, reach out to Tiffany or the leadership teams. And we're here for you. Way to go, Winnie. And thanks everybody for joining us.
Hey, and I'd like to share an aha I just had.
Go ahead.
When you were repeating back what Winnie's doing, think about it like a for sale by owner. You don't typically win the for sale by owner if you go into the relationship trying to get the listing. You build that rapport, you build that friendship, you provide value, and then they buy into you, and then they buy into KW. So it always starts there. And I love that what you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, team, have an amazing Friday. Earn the weekend. And if you need anything, give us a call. And thanks for coming out.
All right. Take care, guys.
See ya.